Yeah. And thank you for bringing this up. And I remember, many things come to mind. What grace it is for us, for all of us, to even think to ask for help. That is, it's important sometimes to, with great humility, but also some joy, acknowledge, even when we can't quite make it, because we don't always make it in that moment, or yet, as Swamiji would say, just that reaching out to God and gurus for help is so important. When Master said over and over, God watches the heart, or how much intention on the path matters. And it's just come more and more clear to me with that image that I keep putting out there of Kundalini and moving at all in the right direction, asking for help being a very big movement in the right direction. How it starts freeing that energy that is just bound at the base of our astral spine, that it starts allowing us to let the chakras open and the energy flow. So even if we don't win that battle, we feel something about calling on Master and our connection with him. And it feels so good and so right that it affirms it for us. And we want to do it again and again. So that's one thing I'll say. We are part still in this early phase of Dwapara, of a very small number of people who think to call on God for guidance and who don't much more enjoy suffering. Most people, and this is hard to believe, but it's true, most people enjoy suffering. They wouldn't say that to you. They don't know it. But look how many times we can offer somebody a way out, and they don't take it. They cannot hear it. The masses do not have ears to hear. So I just want to say that to begin with. Never quit asking. But you remember last night, now I don't have it with me, but I read a quote of Master's, and I read it so that we could all hear it. He said, these are his words, close enough to his words from last night. Make no mistake about it, he said. I mean, he was alluding to lessons that he had just been teaching about how many souls think that ignoring the problem was the easier way to go. Now, we don't always know we're ignoring the problem, but Master doesn't care about that. If you're not doing it, you're ignoring it. And that's true, whether it's conscious or not, the result is the same. That was what I didn't read. What I did read was that he said, make no mistake about it. Moving forward on the spiritual path, finding God, we call it, means finding that place in ourselves where we're living perfectly in tune with wisdom, with knowledge, with divine love, with oneness, where duality no longer exists. That's what that means. Finding God will take all of the courage, and there was one other word, but it was like, and strength. If that wasn't the word, it's a good word, but I think that was it. All of the courage and all of the strength that you have in this life. All of the courage and all of the strength. This is Master saying to us, walk, and he said it in so many ways. I wish I could just sit there and maybe over the next few weeks, because remember, he listed courage as one of the 5 aspects of right attitude that are absolutely necessary on this spiritual path. That's saying a lot. So he's acknowledging what you're saying. And he's saying, I don't care. I'm here to help you through that. I'm here to take your hand and say, whether it's easy or whether it's hard, there's only one direction to go. Now, for us mere mortals, it hurts. I mean, and of course I'm speaking to you from personal firsthand knowledge, because, so I could speak about myself. We have no choice. No choice. You know, recently I had a very dear friend come to me who's just, this person's a year older than me. So means we're nearing the end of this life. We might have 5 years, 10 years, even 15 years, but that's a blink. And as I say to everybody, and those of us in the room who are over 70 will tell you this is true. After you're 70, time goes by more quickly. A year just passes in a blink. So it doesn't feel like a lot of time. So this was an older person who was facing something that is so hard in his life. And he said to me, there are moments where I tell Master, or the masters, and he relates more to one of the other masters in our line of gurus, so he said that, it doesn't matter. Like, can you just take me now? This is too hard. Can you just let me go at this point? And I said to him, that's an interesting prayer. You're not committing suicide, but you're asking the Master to collude with you. At least say, if that's what's spiritually right for me, or if I can't make any more spiritual progress in this life. But I said to him, you know, you'll just have to come back and face exactly this in your next life. And you'll probably have to start somewhere, not with this, which is a pretty big and high jump that could serve you if you can muster all of your courage, all of your strength, all of the effort and energy, bravery that it takes. Wow, that's going to give you some big spiritual progress. And if you don't, then it's not going to go away because it's lodged in your astral spine, which just comes back and gets laid down. And he said to me very sweetly, he said, I know, but I thought a little rest in the astral plane might be good for me. But, you know, and believe me, I understood, because I've had some similar thoughts when things get really hard. But it's not what's good for us. Remember last night those words that Master said. All of this, he was saying, everything I'm teaching you about right attitude, and right now specifically about courage, is predicated on the thought that you want God. If you want God, open your eyes, draw in all of the light that you can, find your courage, and just say, okay, it's you and me, Master. We are doing this together, and I will not give up, because in a way, that very sweet thought that was communicated so sweetly, I just felt like a little rest in the astral plane would be nice. How does that differ from the saying just went through. How does that differ from Master's comment about his friend in the AY about familial warmth? Our desire to just go back to that which is safe and will hold us. And it's not much different in the astral plane, because Swamiji says very clearly in Raja Yoga, the greater the soul, the more likely they are to choose a human life over a life in a higher astral plane, because we can make more progress here. We have to remind ourselves that's what we're here to do. We're not on a spiritual vacation here. And we have been filled with this duty, which, as Master said last night, and again, I don't have the quote, but is that soul's natural longing, naturally bringing us towards the light. That's what duty means. So we don't want to pay attention. We don't want to ignore it or push it away. It's okay if we say those words to Master. I've said them many times. Are you sure? Are you sure? You know, it's like, whew, I'm not sure. I can't do it. And I know I can't do it. But we have to remind ourselves, it's not just a saying, they can do it. And that's who we have to lean into. So it's a very real and important question, and we don't want to lose sight of the answer. Call on the Masters.